Hey everyone, Heather here, and for today's video, I wanted to share a funny story that happened as I was playing Final Fantasy XIV online, but then it made me think of two other stories that, regardless if you play Final Fantasy XIV, if you're watching this video, I feel like as a fellow gamer, you would appreciate it. So, the first story, Final Fantasy XIV. If you saw my review video about playing Final Fantasy XIV in 2 months, I played most of this game solo. Whenever I could do all, the dungeons and the trials solo with the NPCs, like through duty, support, or trust, that's what I did. That was always the thing that I preferred. But there are some times when you have to party with other people. This must have been just like by chance, but I don't think I actually had a summoner in my party until like way late in the game, just by chance. I want to say until like Shadowbringers maybe is when I was actually matched with a summoner in the party. And here's why this matters. It must have been a trial because I remember it being like a big boss. Yeah, it had to have been a trial. I wish I could remember what boss it was. But see, this is what happens when I'm like super anxious because I'm so focused on like trying not to die and like trying not to be that person. Anyway, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Titan drops into the arena and like is ready to fight. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the primals are collaborating to like help us get through. Like we're gonna see Garuda and Ifrit and Ramu, and like they're all gonna unite and they're gonna help us defeat this boss. And then I remember looking at Titan or even like the boss or whatever, and I expected like some kind of story dialogue to appear, and then the trial ended without anything happening. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I think that is a summoner spell. I guess that's how the summoners attack. Honestly, like I have no idea because the only class I've played is Dragoon, and I haven't played long enough with other people to understand like what abilities they have or what their abilities look like. I was so psyched, man. Like I remember like being in my chair like, oh shoot, like this is a big deal, and yeah, nothing happened. I felt really dumb. Okay, story number 2. This is a throwback. This is like, depending on when you were born and when you started playing video games, or how old you were when you grew up playing video games, this is really going to be for a very specific audience. But I grew up in the 90s, right? I was born in 1985. I'm 37 years old. And so my introduction to a lot of like the time I really got into video games for the first time was in the 90s. The PlayStation 2 was iconic for me because that was Final Fantasy, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10. Like all of that, all of those RPG games that are just absolute classics in my life all happened on that console. But back then, you had to use a memory card to save your save data. Like it had to go on a memory card, and one memory card would only hold like so many save slots. It wasn't a lot. It was very easy to fill up a memory card. So here's what happened. I was playing Final Fantasy IX, which actually was my favorite Final Fantasy until Final Fantasy XIV. But I was playing Final Fantasy IX, and I remember getting to the 4th disc because back then big games had to be on separate PlayStation discs. So it was the 4th disc. So I want to say like, I don't know, at least 30 hours into the game, into the story. Like we're starting to get into the end game. We know who the big boss is, and we're starting to do side quests and stuff. And I was that far in. How old was I when Final Fantasy IX came out? Final Fantasy IX came out in 2000. Okay, so I was a freshman, sophomore. I was like, 14, 15 years old. And I remember it was the swamp. We had to go to this swamp in Final Fantasy IX. And I don't know if I'm saying their name right, but Quina, do you know who I'm talking about? Quina Final Fantasy IX? Quina, right? Yeah, Q's Marsh. That's where we were. I can't believe I remember this so vividly, but I remember walking into Q's Marsh, and this wasn't the first time you get Quina. It's like, for some reason, we had to go back there. And as I'm crossing through the marsh, everything freezes. The game freezes, like nothing is responding. I'm unplugging the controller, plugging it back in. Like the game is just totally frozen. I didn't know what to do, so I decided, after trying everything that I could, to turn off the PlayStation and then turn it back on, because fine, it's a pain, but I will just reload from my last save. I bet you know where this is going. I tried to do that, and I got the message that my save had been corrupted. I couldn't get it to work. And so finally I resigned, and I was like, I will just play it again. It's fine. Like, I'll just play it all over again. I know what to do this time. It shouldn't take me take me as long, whatever. Then we get back to Q's Marsh, same place, 4th disc. And stupid me, I was using the same memory card. And the reason why I did this is because my other memory cards were full. Like, I didn't want to delete save data because I don't want to lose my save data from other games. So I was like, I'm going to use the memory card that has the free space. And I figured, like, it's probably not the memory card. There was some glitch with the console or the game or something like that, whatever. Walking through the marsh, it freezes again. I can't do anything about it. I turn off the PlayStation. I turn it back on. Your file is corrupted. Oh my God. I cannot even explain to you, like how annoying it was. It was just so frustrating that, like, at the exact same point too. And, finally, I think, I don't know what I did. I think what I ended up doing was getting another memory card and just, biting the bullet and deleting a save from a different game so that I could just use another memory card that I already had. I played through the entire game and then managed to beat it. But yeah, straight up, the first time I played Final Fantasy IX, I had to play it 3 times. I got to the 4th disc 3 times. It's so funny because storage is just such a non-issue nowadays. It's like totally not something you even think about. Here is my external hard drive for the PlayStation 4. This thing can hold 4 terabytes, and I'm pretty sure every single game I've owned, like pre-2010, and their save data can fit in the palm of my hand. And I think this thing was like $100. I'll never forget my roots, man. And that's why I'll always appreciate like how far games have come, because it's just it's crazy that, like, I had to change discs, I had to like use memory cards, like, oh my goodness. All right, so last story. This was from Diablo II, and I think this was probably the first game that I played with other people that I can, like, it's not just multiplayer, couch multiplayer, 2-player. It's I'm connecting to the internet, and there are going to be people in the game that I don't know. Like, they're total strangers. And Diablo 2, when did this game out? Okay, it was 2000. So, again, I was like 15, 16. Around 15 or 16 years old. I want to say I was 15. I can't tell you how much I love Diablo 2. I was like obsessed with this game. I got the game guide, and in high school, what I would do is pack the game guide, bring it to school with me, and then go to the library and just read my game guide for Diablo 2 in the library while everyone else was like, I don't know, chatting and having lunch and stuff. Like, that's what I would do. I would obsess over, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have this very specific gear because it has higher stats than the one I currently have. The way to get better gear, God, this is so old school. So you would grind, right? You do dungeons with people, and then the loot would drop. And back then, like in Final Fantasy, the loot drops, but like a window pops up and you can need or greed, which is like that system. We take that system for granted. Like, that is amazing that it's not going to be like the first person who picks it up. That's how it was back in Diablo 2 days. You had to be standing and being, paying attention to pick up the loot. and sometimes someone would pick it up, they didn't even need it, but they know they can trade it. You know, it's just so, oh my gosh. So you could either do it that way or you could trade, right? So like, you know, in Final Fantasy XIV, you use Gil and you could go to the market board. There was no market board in Diablo II, so you had to go to the trade chat channel, and like everyone would just be it was just like nonstop scrolling in the chat of like all the equipment with the gear. And like I had my game guide here and I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to save up, you know, this currency to get this gear. And back then, the currency were these things called perfect skulls. So the way that you farmed for perfect skulls is that you would get the chipped skulls, and I think you can convert 10 chipped skulls into one flawed skull. Then you would need 10 flawed skulls to get one skull, 10 skulls to get the flawless, and then 10 flawless to get one perfect, right? So imagine, like, I don't know what that calculates to, but it's a lot of chipped skulls because, you know, basically what I would do is instead of farming for higher level, like farming the higher level enemies to get a flawed skull or skull, I would just go to the lower level areas and get a bunch of chipped skulls and just brute force one perfect skull by just collecting a crap ton of chipped skulls and, like, you know, making it evolve. So there was a piece of gear that I wanted, and it cost, I'll never forget this, it cost 10 perfect skulls, okay? And I grinded and farmed for, I mean, I can't even tell you how long that took me to finally get 10 perfect skulls. I earned those skulls. I did it the hard way. I farmed and I put in the hours until I had 10 perfect skulls. Then I went to the trade channel and I knew exactly what I wanted. It was a chest piece. Diablo II chest piece. I can't remember what it was called. So it looks something like this. Let's pretend it looked like this. Oh, here. This is a better picture. So right here, say it looked like one of these, right? So I found a person through the trade channel and I was like, I've got 10 perfect skulls. I want, you know, your super awesome armor. And I was so excited because it was like I saved up. It was the first time that I could like afford a thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, my gaming experience is going to totally change after I get this awesome gear. And so me and the person, if you've played Diablo 2, we had to go into an instance, and it was like the camp where Deckard Cain is, because when you're in the trade channel, you're not actually like in a game, right? You're just like in the lobby kind of thing. So we opened up a game so that we can actually do the transaction. So the trade window, I know this is kind of hard to see. The trade window kind of looked something like this, right? Where I think this is what you have, like this is your inventory, and then this is their trade window. This is what they're giving you, and then this is your trade window. This is what you're giving them. And so what I did is I put my 10 perfect skulls here, and they put the chest piece right here. And I, hovered over it, and when you hover over it, just like Final Fantasy XIV, you could see the stats, you could see the name of the item, and I made sure it was the thing. And I was so excited. I could taste it. I was like, it's right there. Like, it's right there. I'm so excited. And then the person goes, oh, hold on. I have to check something. And I'm like, okay. So they close the trade window. They go to the chest, which is their inventory, and said that they needed to check something. And so he stood in front of it, and I was like, okay, cool. And then he came back to me, and then he opened up the trade window. And then I put the 10 perfect skulls back in the window, and he put in the chest piece. As soon as he put in the chest piece, he clicked this check mark. And when you click this check mark, it turns green, saying like, I'm cool with this trade. I approve of this trade. And basically when both of these turn green, right? Like when I also click the check mark, that's when the trade actually happens. So he drops the chest piece, he clicks the button, my perfect skulls are there, and I'm so excited. I click the button. What I did not do is hover over the chest piece that they had put in to the trade window. I did it the first time, I didn't do it the second time. When I opened up my inventory to see what I had just traded for, it was like not even level 1 equipment, like some starter piece, something that you can easily get from enemies, like not powerful at all, but it looked the same, right? It had different stats. Like back then, this was the chess piece and they could all have different names and stats and all of that, but they all looked the same. And I didn't check. And there went my 10 perfect skulls. I'll never forget this because it was the very first time that I had ever been scammed in my life. And like, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know what to do. So like, as soon as the trade ended, of course, the first thing is I send the guy a whisper, send the guy a tell, and I'm like, please, like, can I get at least, some of my perfect skulls back? Like, at least one, like something. Can I get something back? Because I put so much time into getting these skulls. Like, can I get something back? He had logged off online. I don't know, he blocked me, whatever. I tried reporting, but there was nothing to report because I had approved of the transaction. I remember just feeling so like empty, like I remember sitting at my computer and just being like, what just happened? Like, I have no one to talk to explain what the heck just happened. Like, imagine me going to my parents and like explaining perfect skulls, trading with strangers. Like, I had no one to explain what the heck just happened. And like, I get, there are like people who get scammed out of real money. Okay. Like I have that perspective, but let me tell you, at 15 years old, when those perfect skulls were a representation of actual hours that I had put in. And back then it's like finding time to play games was so much harder than it is now. At 37 years old, I'm in charge of my time. I also have my own business. So I can schedule my client work so that I can, play 30 hours of games like a week. Like, I can organize my schedule that way. My mom isn't telling me to do chores. I don't have homework to do. Like, I don't have to wait until I get out of school. Like, I can literally wake up 5 a.m. and start playing games. Not back then. And like, I think any gamer knows what it's like to lose, right? Like, we know what it feels like to get game over when you're playing like Super Mario and you only have so many lives and you get to like World 7 or something and then you just die and you have no other lives. Like, that feels like defeat. That feels like, oh, it's so frustrating. It's like, we were right there, but it's fine. Like, you expect it, right? Like, you know why you got game over and you know what you have to do to just get back there and play it again. Same thing with playing like your sibling or, someone on multiplayer or PvP, like that feeling of defeat and, you lost, they won. I felt that before. This, I had not felt before. Like, this was just something totally, I just had no idea how to process what the heck just happened. And I know this is like stupid, right? And at the end of the day, it's like a digital item. No one's getting actually hurt. Back then, as a 15-year-old, like, that felt like treasure to me. I don't think I had money of my own. So that was what was important to me, right? Like, that's the thing that I found valuable. It was those perfect skulls. And for it to just disappear in like a matter of seconds, like, I'll never forget it. I still feel it. The one thing that I do remember feeling was like, I can't believe that person could just do that, because I would never do that. Like, I would never scam anybody, because I know, like, I could put myself in their shoes of like, I know what it takes to get 10 perfect skulls. Like, I would never just rob you of it, and to just know that person, approved the trade, logged off, and was probably prancing around in the room celebrating victoriously because they feel like they won something, that hurt so bad. But of course, everything turned out okay. It didn't stop me from playing video games. I played Diablo 2 for many, many, many more hours after that. Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, Diablo 3, Diablo will always be one of my favorite games series just because of how important it was to me, despite that really annoying thing that happened. So I hope you enjoyed those stories. I know they were kind of random, but this weekend, actually, I'm going to go visit my parents. I think I'm going to do a vlog showing you my video game collection, which I haven't, I don't even think collection is the right word. Just the video games that I got growing up, and I haven't looked through all of it in like a decade. So it'll be really interesting to see what we find. But with that said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.